Hi, it's Adams Nady. You're listening to my song right now. Please don't pause or skip. If you want to listen to this track, head over to bandcamp.com or get the Bandcamp app.
I am Barack Obama. I kind of want to talk about all this Spotify drama, bro. You know, I've been seeing it, but I haven't really been looking too deep into it. But like, bro, there's been a ton of drama with Spotify, bro. And I want to watch a video that encapsulates all of it, though. Like, obviously, everybody's always talking about how Spotify doesn't pay right. We know that already. But a lot of people are leaving Spotify for some reason, and they're like announcing it. And then obviously there's the AI stuff, and like apparently the CEO is investing in like war stuffs. I've been gone from Spotify for years now. I see they still pissing people off. Okay, yeah, we got a nice little 800 view joint right here. Hopefully it's just underserved and not bad quality.
Hi.
Okay, creative.
Today, we're going to talk about Spotify and a way we could use it to maybe drive more people towards buying our music. Now, it is by no means a hot take that Spotify is not a great company. Whether it's destroying the value of recorded music whilst gaslighting everyone by saying their platform ensures people actually pay for music, or the fact that the money that's essentially being stolen from musicians through Spotify subscriptions and advertising revenue is predominantly being used by Spotify CEO Daniel Ek to invest in AI military technology.
He did not, bro. Ah, man, that's funny. Shout out to Dune, though. I love Dune.
To invest in AI military technology, which, let's face it, will be used to murder predominantly brown children across the world. This fact in particular has led to King Gizzard, Deerhoof, Juju, Zozo, Juju? I don't think I've ever said that out loud. I should have checked this before I did the video. This band, and others, to remove their music from Spotify's platform. There's a lot more information on both of these points which you can find in a lot of other videos. I really recommend doing a search and taking a look at it in a bit more depth. Also, don't get me wrong, the major labels were totally complicit in this as well, in a reactionary move against piracy. This isn't just a Spotify problem, this is a streaming problem. But as far as I know, Spotify is the only company that is actively using their revenue to invest in things that are built to kill children. Or maybe Tim Cook's got like a mech suit and some kind of baby murder resort.
Oh my God,
Tim Apple.
So you can remove your music completely from Spotify, from all streaming services. That's a completely fair thing to do. But I'm gonna try something different with my...
Okay, wait, before we get into this, because I do want to know his solution, but I don't want to be a guy that's gonna sit here and defend any of it. But if the CEO is investing in that, but he makes the money from us, I guess. Nah, that's pretty bad. I guess it's pretty bad, yeah, right? Iron Man was making weapons. That's how he became so rich. But then he started doing good with the money, I guess. Nah, that's pretty bad. There's no way around it, all right.
The genesis of this idea came from watching a video by Jacob Samario from English Oak Recording. He spoke about the fact that we build our audience on our social platforms or act shows, and then we push them towards Spotify, as opposed to Spotify being a promotional tool which pushes people towards us. He therefore suggests we use the profile we're building on our social apps, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, to push people towards Bandcamp, where people can actually purchase our music, as opposed to Spotify or any other streaming service. So my thinking is,
I make a solid $20 to $30 a month on Bandcamp, bitches. Let's go.
why don't we use Spotify and other streaming services for that same purpose? Streaming and Spotify have become the de facto way anyone listens to your music. That's where they're going to go first. Spotify is almost a verb now for the act of listening to music. So, like it or not, if someone's searching for your music, that's where they're going to go. Now, I'm aware, in the scheme of things, I'm a pretty small fry. My monthly listeners, which for a long time have been a benchmark of how successful or popular an artist is, and we're now learning that doesn't actually equate to sales or people turning up to a show, are pretty low. And I've also taken a pretty concerted break from playing live or doing any other promotion, just so I can solely focus on finishing off my next album.
What is this
my music
mic?
does appear in a few playlists though, and I do get a few people discovering me through my previous band and the other band with whom I'm a live touring member. Anyway, what I've decided to do, and what I think would be interesting for artists with a larger fan base than myself to do, is record spoken adverts over all of my songs. Let me show you
Okay, hold on.
exactly what I mean. If you
Let's hear him out.
were, for example, to listen to my song, Holy Moon, from my first
No,
EP,
no.
Pageant Smile, on any streaming platform, this is what you would hear. Hi, it's l.dre. You're listening to my song right now. Please don't pause or skip. If you want to listen to this track, head over to bandcamp.com or get the Bandcamp app. If you're listening to this on Spotify, just know that Spotify CEO Daniel Ek is making it impossible for musicians to make any money from their music and using your subscription fee to invest in AI military technology. Essentially, the money you're paying is going directly towards murdering people around the world instead of paying artists like me for listening to this song. Now, if you're not on Spotify, this part still applies. Original music takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort to create. So what I'm asking is you head over to Bandcamp, where, for a small price, have the option to buy just this song, or for a little bit more, buy the rest of the music this song is connected to, and listen to it as much as you like, forever, in the Bandcamp app. I've made a video talking about why I've done this, which you can find if you go to adamsnady.com, and if you've made it this far, thank you very much, and I'll see you over at Bandcamp. Hi again, it's me. If you are on Spotify and you want to move to a different streaming service, there are many easy ways.
Shut up! That's still the song? Are you serious?
To move all your playlists elsewhere. Just do a quick web search for Move My Spotify Playlists To, and then type whichever streaming
My guy, he's helping them leave the platform as well. Oh, man.
service you're moving to. Qobuz, Qobuz, is the streaming service that currently pays artists the most. Anyway, depending on how much time is left on this song, I'm just going to loop the original message. Thank you very much for listening. Let me show you the process of doing this, from recording your message to swapping out the actual music files.
That's crazy. We're going to talk about that, but let's finish the video real quick first.
Spotify won, artists lost. And until some of the biggest artists on the platform remove their music, Spotify is still an incredibly valuable business, and streaming is an incredibly valuable business model. Daniel Ek will still be infinitely more wealthy than any of the musicians that he has exploited, and people around the world will be killed by the weapons that our subscription fees have helped build. But maybe, just maybe, these little acts of protest can go some way towards hurting Spotify's reputation and remind people that music does actually have a value, and that value can be expressed in the form of money so that we can actually survive and create more music. I'm also aware that as someone who is about to start approaching record labels to find a home for my next album, there are many reasons why this position might not be an attractive one, and I don't begrudge anyone who leaves their music on Spotify and other streamers. We're in a really tough position. We're just trying to do what we can to figure this out and continue making art. Anyway, thanks again to Jacob from English Oak for inspiring this video. Please go and check out his channel.
I would be lying if I never thought of that, because I make instrumentals. You know, at some point I had like 1 million monthly listeners. I've always thought of like dropping a song that says, hey, by the way, I'm on Instagram and YouTube, you know, go check me out at l.dre the Giant. But ultimately I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing it. But him doing a whole ad is genius. Okay, it's genius, but at the same time, no disrespect to him, but it's super easy to do if you only have 100 listeners. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole problem with this whole situation. It's kind of like, again, not to toot my own horn or anything, but at some point I was making like anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month from streaming revenue. Okay, so there's money to be made, guys. There definitely is. Granted, I had several extremely viral songs on TikTok at the time, but even till this day, like, it's still a big portion of my monthly revenue. And Spotify, out of all the other platforms, is the biggest portion out of all those portions. The other thing is, the vast majority of people couldn't care less. They just couldn't care any less. You know what I'm saying? So like, sure, I'll look into this to see like what the CEO is doing, feel bad about it. But ultimately, like, the people that are listening to music on Spotify, they don't know none of this. Only we know, because we're creators and whatnot. But the people that are just listening to music, they don't know, nor do they care about any of this. Because me personally, I've switched to Apple Music for a majority of what I do. I only use Spotify now when I stream, And that's just because I still like to be able to look people up. Like, it's still a good way to see, like, oh, how many monthly listeners this person has, or what's this person's most popular song, so I could listen to that. You know, like, personally, the social proof, I still like it a lot on Spotify. Apple Music doesn't have that. Apple Music pays more than Spotify, so if everybody wants to switch, bro, that'd be sick. I would love it if everybody switched to Apple Music or Tidal, you know what I'm saying? Something that pays artists more. But this is a really cool idea, and I think a lot of people should try something like this. But if you have a career already on Spotify, like, it's hard, bro. If Spotify is most of your income, what are you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? But why is a CEO in music industry investing in war? Joe Will. I mean, it's pretty simple. Money. Unless he's like secretly evil or something, like he's an evil mastermind. But like, if you're into like the stock trading world, the war sector of stock trading is a very profitable sector, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be war and this or that. So he's probably just looking to make billions of dollars or something. You don't think casual listeners hate like the UI changes and all the AI playlists? You know what? I mean, hopefully, yes. I think over time, I see a lot of sentiments on threads about people switching to Apple Music for the quality and this or that. But like, you got to think, you're watching this stream, that already makes you a different kind of person. If you watch live streams, especially fucking me, like a producer, then your opinion in this isn't even the thing. You're not the people we're talking about. I'm talking about the vast majority of people. Like, let's see, how many users does Spotify have? As of the first quarter of 2025, Spotify has 675 million monthly active users. 675 million. I'm willing to bet out of that 675 million, maybe 100,000 of them are willing to cancel because of all this shit that's going on. And that is nothing, bro. 100,000 out of a 675 million is nothing. Even if 5 million people switch over to Apple Music, how many monthly users does Apple have? 100 million. So they have 6 times what Apple has. Okay, 268 million of them are paid. So yeah, it is mostly free users. That is a fact. So unless Apple Music made a free version or something, yeah, 100K willing, not even guaranteed. They might be willing to leave. So I just don't see that happening, bro. Like, there's got to be something crazy to go down for people to really just leave Spotify, bro. They've already dominated. They got podcasts. They got everything now. But yeah, like a lot of the AI stuff, yeah, sure. Smaller and smaller amounts of people are probably going to dislike that. But again, if we're going to talk about the vast majority of people that aren't really savvy like that, bro, think about it. Out of that 600 million people, how many of them even know that there's AI generated music on Spotify? Like, let's keep it a bean. Like, we know it because we're into this kind of stuff. But the people that just listen to music casually and couldn't care less about even the artist they're listening to, like, they're just listening to playlists on Spotify. Some people don't even have their own playlists. Some people don't even like the music. They just put the algorithm songs on and just let it do its thing. So it's an uphill battle for sure is all I'm saying. But I'm not saying to just be complicit in it. If you already don't have any streams on Spotify, bro, that's an easy decision. Sure, just put all your focus and attention into Bandcamp. At this point, it is what it is, bro. Especially for producers like that just drop instrumentals like me. It's very, very hard to get people on a mailing list, to get people to buy your songs in Bandcamp. Because at the end of the day, it's just beats, you know? It's just different. You have to reset consumer expectations industry-wide for it to change, which I don't see happening anytime soon. That's a fact. I mean, like, if you look at the situation with Target, for example, Target has actually seen like a big decrease in like people shopping there. And it's mostly because of them rolling back DEI and all this other stuff. But in my opinion, it's mostly because a lot of minorities champion Target. You know, like Target was that place. So they felt betrayed. So they were able to make that impact by not shopping there. And I'm willing to bet that so many people stopped shopping at Target for like a week or two because of the DEI situation and the protests, to the point where they're like, they forgot about it, bro. That's like me, bro. I used to go to Target all the time, but now I don't because I just don't even think about it anymore. Who cares? So unless something happens like that, but ultimately, bro, the people that listen to music, like Taylor Swift fans, you know what I'm saying? Drake fans, bro. Drake fans, they'll go see that Daniel Elk is investing in war and they'll be like, that's tough. They'll be like, oh, that's tough, bro. Like, how do I get in on that? So, yeah. But I like this video though. I like this video. I like what this guy's doing. It seems fun. Do you use both Spotify and Apple? Which one do you prefer? I definitely prefer Apple Music. That's what I use. But like I use Spotify for, again, like when I'm streaming or like, you know, just to find people, like just to find new music. Or if I see a song on TikTok, I'm more than likely going to go to Spotify to search up that artist, just because I like to see the vanity metrics. Like I like to see like which song has the most streams, and then I'll listen to that one. Because me personally, I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but the way I view things is if certain songs have more streams or whatever, that's probably the one that's popular. So that's probably the song that I just heard on TikTok. Let's say the title's not on TikTok. I just use Spotify for discovery, but Apple Music is what I actually listen to. When you listen to someone's music, they're making a higher percentage than they are on Spotify, then I'd highly recommend switching platforms, because Spotify, it's not like it's just the best, greatest. It's not like it's so much better than every other platform. It's just the go-to platform, bro. No offense, but it's kind of like FL Studio or something. You know how FL Studio is like, it's cheap. It's a lot of people's first DAW. So it's good though. It is really good, but that don't mean you got to stay on it forever. You could always go and try other stuff. Even with all of Spotify's features, I only use Apple Music, my whole library on that John too. No, for real. Yeah. For me, Apple Music is like listening to vinyl, you know, it's like, it's lossless audio. And like, I go to Apple Music to actually listen to albums and shit. Obviously I have my daily rotation playlist that I just listen to every day. But like for me, the UI and shit is just better for like actually listening to full length albums. I don't think their playlists are that great and shit like that.
I am Barack Obama. I am Barack Obama.